But it does require compromise, and it requires some balance. You know, Warren Buffett had an article published today in which he said, "Stop coddling billionaires." He pointed out that I think he made about $36 million on income. It was, I guess, an off year for him. But he pointed out that he paid an effective rate of 17% when it came to taxes, which meant that he paid a lower tax rate than anybody else in his office, including his secretary, because most of his income came in the form of capital gains. And he made a simple point. He said, look, nobody's income has gone up faster than the top 1%. In fact, nobody's gone up faster than the top 1/10 of 1%. There's nothing wrong when it comes to closing our deficit and managing our debt to say that we should ask a little bit of help from everybody. I don't want a tax cut if it means that senior citizens have to pay an extra $6,000 a year for their Medicare. That's not fair, and that's not right. I think it makes sense for us to say, you know what, let's close some loopholes that only oil and gas companies are able to take advantage of, to make sure that we don't have to cut back on Pell Grants for students who are trying to go to college and get a better education. Now, that doesn't mean that we defend every single government program. Everybody's got to make sacrifices. There are programs that aren't working well. And sometimes there are those in my party who will defend everything, even if it's not working. Well, we do have to make some cuts on things that we don't need. And that allows us to invest in the things that we do. But there's got to be balance, and there's got to be fairness. And that's not just my view. The majority of Republicans agree with that view. Although I have to tell you, when I saw the other day, my friends in the Republican presidential primary, they were asked, would you take a deal in which for every $1 of tax increases, we cut $10 in government spending? 10-to-1 ratio. And nobody was willing to take that deal. Now, what that tells me is, okay, you've gotten to the point where you're just thinking about politics. You're not thinking about common sense. You've got to be willing to compromise in order to move the country forward. So here's the upshot. We do have real challenges. We're going to have to make some tough decisions. And I know that during the 2.5 years that I've been president, we've gone through a lot of ups and downs and a lot of tough times. And our job is not finished until every single American who's looking for a job can find a job. And until we have fixed the problems that caused me to run for president in the first place, so that we're growing a middle class and people have basic security and they know if they're following the rules, if they're working hard, if they're looking after their families and meeting their responsibilities, that they've got a chance at the American dream. You guys are meeting your responsibilities. You're meeting your responsibilities. You're working hard, and if you've gotten laid off and you don't have a job, you're out there looking for a job. You're looking after your family, you're tightening your belt where you need to, but you're still making investments to help your kids with their future. You're operating with common sense, and you're donating time at your church or a food pantry or Little League. Well, if you're meeting your responsibilities, the least you can ask is your elected representatives meeting theirs. And so I understand that after this last midterm, you voted for divided government. But you didn't vote for dysfunctional government. You didn't vote for a broken government that can't make any decisions, can't move the country forward at all. That's not what you voted for. And so, some people have been saying, well, Mr. President, why don't you call Congress back for a special session? And what I've said is the last thing the people need for confidence right now is to watch folks on Capitol Hill arguing all over again. What they need to do is come to Decorah or go to Cannon Falls or meet with their constituents back home and hear the frustration and understand that people are sick and tired of the nonsense and the political games. And hopefully when they come back in September, they're going to have a wake-up call that says, we need to move the country forward. You've got to start focusing on doing the people's business. That's what everybody's expecting. I want you to help hold all of us accountable, me included. I am enlisting you in this fight because if you're making your voices heard, if you're letting people know that enough is enough, it is time to move forward. It is time for us to win the future. If your voices are heard, then sooner or later, these guys have to start paying attention. And if they don't start paying attention, then they're not going to be in office. And we'll have a new Congress in there that will start paying attention to what is going on all across America. I'm confident in the power of your voice. I'm confident in your values. Those are the values that we share. I don't care whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent. All of us here are patriots, and everybody here cares about our country and puts it first. And if we can have that kind of politics, then nothing can stop us. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you.